Yeah. God bless you.
Good morning, Kahal Kadosh. Tuesday, the 8th day of Adar 1, corresponding a Wednesday today. Wednesday, okay, I apologize. For the 13th day of January.
February.
Hold on, guys. You're making me dizzy.
Just
1 second. We need to do things right. No, you're mixing me up.
Empezamos de nuevo.
No, we're not live. We are alive, but I don't think we are live yet. So I'm starting from the beginning, okay? Amen. Okay, empieza. Lo quita después.
¿Y aquí qué hacemos?
No, déjelo. Ready? Good morning, everybody. Wednesday, the 8th of Adar 1, corresponding to February 13th, 2019. The live video Lighthouse Project לעילוי נשמת דבורה פייגה בת שמואל and רפואה שלמה for אורה דבורה בת רבקה. The iTorah.com audio file, the רפואה שלמה פרידה בת צבי צוותה and רפואה שלמה of David Menachem ben Devorah Leah among the Holim of Am Israel. Amen.
Amen.
One of the most fundamental topics of Jewish life is found in the opening statement of the Talmud. And the Gemara writes in Masechet Bava Mesiah, Hakol bidei shamayim. You want to give the class today? Beautiful. Hakol bidei shamayim. Chutz misinim pahim. The Gemara writes, everything is from the heavens, Rabbi Hanina says, with the exception of the colds that a person catches through the change of the weather. Person sometimes has a cold, has a flu, you go to a doctor. Doctor, give me something. What the doctor tells you, there is nothing for me to give you. It's viral, chicken soup, rest, drinks a lot of fluids, and Be'ezat Hashem, you will be healed. But we can say something much deeper than this. And actually, the Gemara, before I go to the next sentence of the Gemara explains as follows, that a person cannot be negligent when it comes to severe weather conditions. Baruch Hashem, today in Florida, it's raining a lot. And I apologize for that in advance, especially for those that expected to have, a beautiful sunny Florida compared to the weather of New York yesterday. Thank you for accepting my apologies, but there's no money back. Okay, there's no money back. You're having a great shul, great sa'udot, wonderful shiurim, so Baruch Hashem will take care of you anyways. Thank you. Thank you for your affection and love and support. But imagine yourself, somebody in New York weather, like these past few days or a week ago, and walks out, it's not so cold. And then the person, Chas Shalom, catches a cold, whatever situation comes with it. The Gemara says the person becomes negligent on the protection of the body due to severe weather conditions. And severe, although the Gemara refers more on the cold aspect, but also on the heat. How many times they tell you, avoid the sun during certain hours of the day. Make sure to be hydrated. So the Gemara is telling us, and I apologize for that a person cannot exclude the physical welfare of the body when it comes to weather conditions. Today's Gemara,
Praise the volume.
Thank you very much. Today's Gemara discusses different things related to the human body. This is the topic of today's Gemara. Among the topics that we'll discuss soon is about the nose of the person. Breakfast, physical benefits of breakfast, and emotional challenges due to the lack of breakfast. Stay tuned, is coming. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Found it? How do I turn it back on?
Continues the Gemara. Be'esir Hashem imecha kol holi. Hashem will remove from you, from your midst, all kinds of illnesses. And the Gemara discusses what kind of conditions are we referring to. One opinion says, Zo ha-so'ah, so'at ha-hotem beso'at ha-ozen. I apologize in advance, so what I'm going to say, but this is the Gemara of today, and we need to know what's written. That's what I'm here for. No, I'm not only give you candies. Sometimes we need to get a wake-up call. Okay? So today's Gemara discusses the cleanliness of the nose and the cleanliness of the ear. Now you say, what's the difference? What's the difference? The Gemara occurs if my ears are full of wax or my nose has extra things inside. According to the Gemara, it says, Rubam kashe umi'otam yafe.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Keep your nose clean. Keep your ears clean. That's why people use Q-tips. That's why people use tissues to dry the ears. Not only externally, internally as well. The Gemara says that the accumulation of let's call it the residual items into the body of the person are not beneficial. Hamavdil, like going to the restroom. A person must go to the restroom daily. If a person has v'shalom, doesn't go to the bathroom more than 3 days in a row, the person's life could be in danger. Even when we go to sleep at night, what the halakha says, start sleeping on the left, so the gravity will cause that all the organs of the digestive system will be leaning towards the back, towards the bottom, right? And the acids produced and the gases produced by the digestive system will not be moving towards the area of the brain. That's the reason why we lean on the left to begin with, and after that we move to the right. I'm not a doctor, but this is a topic that the Gemara discusses at length. Let's move on one more. Rabbi Lazar Omer, Zo Mara. Mara, I think in English, is the gallbladder, I believe. Is that the proper translation of Mara? Right? Is the gallbladder, right? Now, the gallbladder is something very small, almost invisible, as part of the digestive system of the person. And it's called Mara. Mara in English means what? Bitter. Why you call it bitter? You know, the Gemara teaches us a lesson always. Mara Shemah Garim, the Gemara says. In English it means the name of an item has an influence. It sends us a message. Okay? Mara means bitter. The Ben Ish Hai talks about Mara Shehora. When you say somebody has a Shehora, what does that mean? What are you trying to say? That a person has a very challenging type of character. So the Gemara writes, this Mara, this bladder condition spreads throughout the body. As the Gemara writes, כל המחלה אשר שמתי במצרים לא אשים עליך. All the illnesses that I place upon the Egyptians will not be upon you. Mahala, Mara. ולמה שמה מחלה? Why do you call this word mahala? Mara seems to be related to that particular body part. Comes the Gemara and it says no, because once the gallbladder or the ulcers start affecting the digestive system of the person, it spreads towards the body. God forbid. It was, Baruch Hashem, thank you so much.
You could live without the gallbladder.
Of course, but you need to take care of your digestive system. How many times people have acid reflux, or GERD, or silent acid reflux? Where does that come from? Ulcers, hernia in the stomach. That's what the Gemara is telling you. And why it's called mahala? Mahala, that the meaning of the word mahala equals shemonim ushlosha. 83 medical conditions are determined by the health of the gallbladder. Okay. So give me the remedy now. What can I do that the gallbladder, as part of the digestive system of the person, it has a proper functioning? The Gemara says very simple: have breakfast in the morning. What breakfast? The Gemara says bechulam, all digestive system conditions related to that part of the body. Pat shaharit bemelach bekiton shel mayim bebatelatan. A portion of bread with salt and a measure of water takes care of these problems. Breakfast. Baruch Hashem, our breakfast is very generous, very lavish. If you want an upgrade, talk to me privately. I'll give you options. But Baruch Hashem, you have different types of bread, different types of cheeses, tomatoes, eggs, and oatmeal, and peanut butter, and jelly, fruit, Baruch Hashem. So thank God, there are shuls perhaps that give more and more, but this is what we have. Not everybody has, so many minyanim and so many people, so but I think we believe that our breakfast is very generous and nice, Baruch Hashem. So comes the Gemara, and it's going to give us now 13 benefits of breakfast. Unbelievable Gemara. 13 benefits that having a piece of bread with water in the morning can bring upon the person. The Gemara writes right away, Maselet mina hama. It saves the person from being hurt by walking under the sun. Umasilo mina sina. Also from the strange winds that come around through the weather. Masila mina mazikin. It saves the person from the negative angels, the demons that sometimes surround the person. Today this topic is obsolete, definitely in our cities, in the way we live, but in the olden days, this concept of demons or dark angels, so to speak, shedim, known in the language of the Talmud, right, they were around, but Baruch Hashem, for many centuries they were ostracized from mankind. Umahkimat peti, and your brain functions better. Why? Because when your stomach is empty, you don't have clear mind. Sometimes a person feels a bit dizzy, lightheaded, etc. But when your stomach is satisfied, it's definitely better. Bezoche badin. And if you have a dispute, a financial dispute with your friend, the fact that you ate something in the morning that stabilizes perhaps your blood sugar, your physical mind, and your heart, and you're able to talk and discuss and interact respectfully and properly. Lilmod Torah ulelamed. Now that you have breakfast, you are able to sit down. Imagine yourself if one day, okay, it's a ta'anit, right? Some people stay and some people leave. Now, why some people leave? Because they need to eat something, and they cannot sit still without eating. That's why I always give you a few minutes to eat before, and then I start the class. So this way you listen and you're busy eating. Now, udvarav nishma'im. Now you are talking normal. You're not desperate. You had something to eat. Betalmudo mitkayem beyado. And because your stomach and your heart are happy, your learning becomes even better. Be'en besaro ma'ale hevel. And his body does not produce excess sweat. Other opinion says that also it affects the person's ta'ava. Ta'ava in English means desire, right? Ta'ava. ta'avot. But how many levels of ta'avot are there in the world? Many. And the Gemara says, En adam met behasita avotav beyado. A person goes through life, and many times the Talmud says, not even 50% of your desires were accomplished. But what desire is the Gemara referring to? It says desire for the opposite gender to someone that is not his wife. Arayot. Niskak leishto ve'eno mitave leisha acheret. The Gemara says, by you having breakfast in the morning, that gives you another level of protection against desire to do something forbidden. Unbelievable. Behoreget kina bibne me'ayin. And also kills bacteria that sometimes is dwelling around the intestines of the person. And these are the last two that I love. Beyeshomrim. מוסיף מחייה, מוציא את הקנאה ומכניס את האהבה. Removes jealousy, crankiness, and adds love. Sometimes a person who doesn't eat in the morning, mid-morning, they act in a way of being cranky, right? Now, there are those that are cranky all day long. And the Gemara is not talking about those type of people. Haz v'shalom. Crankiness, we already discussed for the past 2 days, that is not good. Try to be calm, try to be collective, try to be thankful, try to be grateful, try to be more positive. But the Gemara says, she'eno ochel, because in the moment that the person doesn't eat, meaning to say, the last time we ate, okay, what time did you eat last night?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, beautiful. And now you're having breakfast at 9:30. So your body went with over 12 hours without food. Okay, beautiful. Maybe you had a coffee, tea, etc. I didn't ask that. But you know what Rashi says? She'az en libo tov alav vehu note lichos. The Gemara is telling us, because your stomach is empty, and then you feel unhappy, and you don't know the reason why. Be'al yedei achila, and through eating, mosi et hakin'ah umachnis et ahava. You remove anger, you remove jealousy, you remove crankiness, and you suddenly are in a good mood. Why? Because your stomach is a bit full. And in Spanish, there is a statement that says, estómago lleno, corazón contento. It says, when the stomach is full,
You're happy.
you're happy. Now, obviously, the rejeres and the loss of eating are applicable. You know, I mentioned on Friday night, last Shabbat night, we discussed the importance of the Jewish table. And I quoted an interesting pirush that says that during the moment that a person eats, Borei Olam sends 2 malachim to testify how is the person eating. Now, I'm not sure if this is every day or this is on Shabbat and Yom Tov. Okay? And he says, what the Malachim testify back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, berachot before and after, the kashrut of the food, the Var Torah, and how did the person eat. Did the person eat like Yaakov or like Esav? You know the difference, right? Yaakov, normal, relax. Esav, vacuum cleaner. Glutton, thank you. Okay? Now, this is the difference. Now, why? Because the Gemara says, Kol zeman shebet hamikdash kayam. During the time of the Bet HaMikdash, the Mizbeach brings kapara to the person. You bring a sacrifice, you atone, forgiveness, next. But when it comes now, the Gemara says, Achshav, she'en Bet HaMikdash kayam. Now that we don't have the Bet HaMikdash, Shulchano shel ha'adam mechaper. The table atones. Can you imagine? You're eating the kibbeh and the yeber and the mahshi, and Shamayim is erasing Averot, it's an unbelievable deal. Where do we learn this from? From the pasuk that we say before Birkat Hamazon. Can you have the book? Thank you so much. The pasuk says in the Birkat Hamazon, pasuk from Yehezkel HaNavi, Vaydaber Elai, Ze HaShulchan Asher Lifnei Hashem. Where this pasuk comes from? From the book of Yehezkel. And what is the part of the pasuk, the previous pasuk? The measurements of the Mizbeach. And the Lekachtov asks, I don't understand. The previous pasuk tells me the measurement of the Mizbeach, the measurement of the altar, and now you're telling me this is the table. From here the Gemara says that the Shulchan became the Mizbeach. So you can be at home enjoying a beautiful Sa'udah in honor of Shabbat or Yom Tov, and it's compared according to the Gemara like you went to the Bet HaMikdash and you offer a korban, and Borei Olam forgave us for our averot. It's an unbelievable deal. Better than Woolworth, alav shalom. I know, that's why I say alav shalom.
Shit.
You remember those days?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe the younger generation doesn't.
5 and 10.
5 and 10. Okay, the 5 and 10 cent store. Okay. Anyways, but our wonderful guest from Brooklyn gave us an interesting sentence that the Gemara will talk later, but I think that is appropriate for today's class. The pasuk, the Gemara began, Hakol bidei shamayim, and right away, Chutz mi'irat shamayim. Okay? So, today's Gemara, that does not bring that sentence. But I think that since it was mentioned, and this is how the Gemara begins, Amal Rabbi Hanina, Hakol bidei shamayim, I can afford to add 2 words, okay, or 3 words. Irat Shamayim. Irat Shamayim. Hain Davin. Hain, no problem, no problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. Irat Shamayim, it's something that we all need to have. We say this in our daily prayers, in the Korbanot part. Le'olam yehe Adam Yere Shamayim Baseter Kebagalul. If we fulfill this sentence, we are in the right track. Let's translate this sentence for the benefit of the audience. But I'm going to read the sentence based on my humble understanding of the meaning of this pasuk, which is not going to deviate much from the original sentence. But I like to put a pause in the beginning of the sentence, which I think there are a lot of hidden messages in this tefillah. Le'olam, forever. What is the pasuk telling us in this prayer? That Irat Shamayim, it is a way of life. Irat Shamayim is not, oh, today for Elul I'm coming to the Knis for Selihot. That's once a year. It says Irat Shamayim is forever. From the instant that a person wakes up till the moment that we go to sleep at night, as we said this many times in the past, there is room for godliness. There is no area in life that Hashem is not involved. Every aspect. You tell me a situation, I'll show you God in that situation. Going to the bathroom, good idea. God, He goes to the bathroom with you. Asher yatzar. If God doesn't give the green light to the body to function, I was saying today Birkot HaShachar at home, and Baruch Hashem, for a long time already, I have the Hebrew English Birkot HaShachar, on the wall. And then I say Birkot HaShachar since I'm a kid. Okay? And Baruch Hashem, I know what it means. But today I read it from the card. And you read the Birkot HaShachar, and you really understand what is the miracle of the functioning of the human body. If something, God forbid, gets ruptured, or something, God forbid, gets obstructed, or blocked, God forbid, the person cannot function. The person is in trouble. Okay? So even on something so private and so personal, there is a concept of godliness. That's one case. the world of business, for sure. Marriage, shalom bayit, kashrut. So, honestly speaking, it's impossible to separate HaKadosh Baruch Hu from our life. So I think that's the meaning of le'olam. Yirat Shamayim is a way of life. It's not seasonal. You know, sometimes you buy a watch, you buy a car, you buy a tie, even you buy a cell phone, right? Seasonal. Seasonal. This season is the style. 2 more seasons, that's it. Go to eBay and trade it in and khalas. So first I think that the Pasuk is telling us that Yirat Shamayim is a way of life. Next part of the sentence, Yehe Adam. Adam usually means a person, a man. We know that the Torah calls humans with different names. Anashim, Nashim, Gevarim, Ish. All of them are very important. Gibor, for example, Enosh. All these are connected to the word Adam. But interesting enough, from all of those words, the only word that does not have a plural is Adam. Ish, Anashim. Gibor, Giborim. You follow me? Nashim, Isha. But Adam is in Arabic, okay? Has no plural. It's singular. Because we all are one. That is one pirush. But our good friend from Jersey, right, said Adame. Adame, for the Sephardic audience, we know what it means. To be a Ben Adam. To be a human being. Adame, right? In English, they call it a mensch. Okay? So the Pasuk is telling us, you need to be a mensch. You need to be Adame. Meaning to say that you need to have proper behavior, Ben Adam lahavero. You cannot have Yirat Shamayim and hurt people. You cannot have Yirat Shamayim and not being honest in business. You cannot have Yirat Shamayim and you mistreat people verbally, God forbid. Why? Because Ben Adam lahavero, it's equally, if not more important, according to this pasuk, than Ben Adam lamakom. And that's why first it's telling you, be a Ben Adam. Then Yireh Shamayim. You understand? It's an unbelievable hidush. Most of us would have said, Le'olam Yireh Shamayim. But here he's telling you, you want to achieve Yirat Shamayim. It's not only Yirat Shamayim, how many times a day I pray, or how much charity I give, or how many hesed funds I help. But Yireh Adam means interaction. Starting at home, as we mentioned 2 days ago. Remember the Musar said, when a person learns how to speak properly, his first exercise is home, his wife, and children, and everyone around you. So the same thing here. Now it comes the strong statement. Baseter kebagalul. Baseter means in the privacy of your home. When nobody sees you. When you are with a rabbi, when you are in the shul, when you're in a public setting, we tend to be more careful and more proper and more adame, etc. And it says here, that's where the Yirat Shamayim of the person is found. Kebangalui, on the street, many times you get letters, I get letters of introduction, and it says, this person is Yireh Shamayim Barabim. Yireh Shamayim Barabim. What does it mean, Yireh Shamayim Barabim? Yani to the people, publicly, he seems to be a nice guy. More than that, I don't know. It's a good start, of course. Of course, Haz v'shalom. We're not minimizing. But what I'm trying to highlight is...
It's neutral.
Neutral. No, correct. But that's why the tefillah said, right, the tefillah says, Baseter kebagalui. Yirat Shamayim is determined more by how do we act privately than the way we act publicly. Because publicly, are you going to, in front of the rabbi, let's say, are you going to raise your voice to your wife? Has v'shalom.
طلع عينه.
In front of the rabbi, you're going to say a word that you know that is inappropriate. Has v'shalom. And that's why the Mishnah writes, Yehi mora rabbach ke mora shamayim. The mora shamayim ke mora basar badam. The Mishnah says, I hope people have it at shamayim like people have fear of people. How many times we worry what they are going to say? That's human perspective. And I'm not saying not to pay attention to public opinion. Politics, I meant to say. Politics, how do they run? They do polls, okay? But Irat Shamayim is not a public poll. Irat Shamayim is a custom-made service in the life of the person. And again, for Irat Shamayim, you don't have to do extreme things. For Irat Shamayim, be who you need to be normal, try to grow, and that's why the Gemara began with the Pasuk began with the sentence of saying, Le'olam. Le'olam. You know, somebody told me the other day, at home, I eat only kosher. I said, Hazal Baruch, what about the street? No, I eat fish, I eat salad. I said, and who allow you to eat that? No, it's not beef. I said, you know what? Next time eat beef, because it's less sin to eat beef than to eat the salad. The guy froze, the guy became white. The guy said, Rabbi, you're kidding me, you're pulling my leg. I said, no, both of them are forbidden. But you need to know that the concept of salads, especially the green leafy vegetables, there are 5 transgressions in the Torah. 5. No one like the non-kosher meat. Has v'shalom. And for the video audience and the virtual audience, I'm not giving you a green light. Okay, the rabbi said that beef is less worse than meat, so than vegetables, so I'm going to have meat. Has v'shalom. Zo nevela, zo terefa. What I'm trying to tell this person, that when a person, God forbid, has dual lifestyle, okay, which they need to be very careful. What does that mean? Dual lifestyle, God forbid. But when a person has kasher at home and non-kasher on the street, what does it cause to the person? Short answer, it causes a spiritual short circuit in the neshama of the person. Because food is not only the physical, the food that a Yehudi eats has kedusha. Why the food has holiness? Number 1, because we eat according to the standards of the Torah. Number 2, we say berachot. So if we have kashrut under control and berachot under control, so even the food that we eat has an influence of Yirat Shamayim on the person. I'll tell you a story. I believe I said this story in one of the classes a while back. But you know what? As Shlomo Melech says, Davar ve'ito matov. To say things when at the proper time is good. So I'm not going to go through the full story, but there was a question that was asked to the great Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, alav shalom. I read it in a Safra. And there was a debate between if a person being in an army in Russia is given one opportunity to do one mitzvah. And the options are presented to the rabbi: to not observe Shabbat properly, or to eat non-kosher food. Which one is the worst? Not observing Shabbat properly, or eating non-kosher food for a short period of time? The great rabbi said, the consumption of non-kosher food is worst. Why? When I read it, I couldn't believe. I said, maybe I'm dreaming. Hazaku Baruch. The great rabbi explains, because the fact that this soldier is desecrating the Shabbat is not because he wants to desecrate the Shabbat. He's a soldier, he has a mission, he has to do. But the consumption of non-kosher food becomes part of your body, becomes part of your blood, becomes part of who you are. Yes, you go to the bathroom. But what happened to the part that stays in your body?
DNA.
Has v'shalom. Part of the DNA, part of your flesh, part of your muscle. And that creates a pegam. That's why in many kiruv programs, in many outreach activities and programs that they are done all over the world, one of the first things that they start to influence the person is to do what? To start eating kasher. Why? Because the eating of kashrut enables the person to be able to learn Torah better, to understand the Torah, and the Torah penetrates without any opposition. But if God forbid, the tum'ah of the non-kosher food, so to speak, and I use the word tum'ah because it creates a pegam, the Zohar says. The Zohar Kadosh talks about Nebuchadnezzar. Remember Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel? He kidnapped hundreds, if not thousands, of Jewish boys and girls for unholy purposes. But he didn't tell them what was his real plan. But the Zohar Kadosh says, what was the formula that Nebuchadnezzar gave to the Jewish boys and girls to eventually train them to become his followers? The Zohar says, give him non-kosher food. What was the menu? Meat and dairy. Because meat and dairy, even kosher, is taref.
Right.
So if meat and dairy kosher, meaning to say separate meat, separate dairy is beautiful, and you mix it, and it causes a spiritual explosion in the body, in the soul of the person, so imagine yourself the consumption of non-kosher food, what does to the person. And this is the tip of the iceberg of Yirat Shamayim. Now, since I'm talking about food, let's read a few more lines. The Gemara says, Hashkem be'echol. Get up early in the morning and have breakfast. I'm not sure if I'm the most appropriate person to speak about this topic, because my breakfast doesn't happen early morning. No, besides praying, I don't have breakfast till 10:30, 11. Really. This is my breakfast. But I train myself, and thank God, Baruch Hashem, God helps me. I have a coffee, I'm not going to lie. I have a coffee in the Gemara class, I have had water in this class, but I program myself to eat that way. But let's go overall in the Gemara. And it says as follows, Hashkem be'echol b'kayitz mepenei ha'chama. It says, get up early and have breakfast, obviously after prayer, during the summer months, so the sun rays will not affect your health. Ubahoref mipenei hasina, in order for your body to be healthy during the winter. And the Gemara writes, Lo yir'abu velo yitz'ama'u velo yakem sharab b'shemesh. Don't starve yourself, don't make yourself dehydrated, so the weathers will not affect you. Water, okay? The body needs to be kept with hydration, with water. Even though our body is mostly water, but bottom line, we need to drink water, which is also good for digestion. I should say that it's not good for digestion when you eat. According to the Maimonides, you should wait a few minutes between eating and drinking water, etc. But throughout the day, you should drink water. Keep your body, your fluids. Not only that, it's good for the kidneys. It's good for the digestive system. It helps the person overall also to remove toxins from the human body, etc. And I apologize if there is somebody that happens to be a nutritionist or a doctor and knows much more than me on this topic, but I'm only giving you the suggested tips from the Gemara of today. And the pasuk comes and it says, Ba'avatem et Hashem Elokechem. Listen to this word. Serve the Almighty. Uberach et lachmecha bet memecha. And God will bless your bread and your water. Ba'asiroti mahala mikirvecha. And I will remove medical conditions or illnesses from your body. Interesting enough that on the same verse, the pasuk says, bread, water, medical conditions. Mahala, illnesses. What does it mean? Comes the Gemara and it says, Ba'avatem et Hashem Elokechem. Serve God. How do I serve God? Keriyat Shema Ana Amida. So the Gemara is telling us the order. Get up in the morning, pray. First thing you pray, take care of that. And then, Haim Tovim. And then you also eat breakfast. Umikan va'elach va'asiroti mahala mikirbecha. You will be able to remove medical conditions from your body. Obviously today, I need to verbalize a disclaimer. Today, I think that people overall are more health conscious, right, in how they eat. They eat bread, stone ground, whole wheat flour, for example. They drink milk, non-hormones injected, organic. Eggs, free range. Beef, grass-fed. Non-GMO vegetables. Coconut oil. Keto diet. Whatever styles that a person has. For example, if I will eat bread every day, for me will be disastrous. So I don't eat bread. I eat bread only Shabbat and Yom Tov because the mitzvah. But I eat something else. I eat eggs, I eat cheese. I don't drink milk. I drink almond milk because the milk has sucrose, sugar, whatever, you know. But I'm me. I'm only just sharing you my menu. So if you invited me for breakfast, it's going to be balash. It's going to be...
We got to be prepared, but...
All right, just invite the rabbi. I check on my schedule. And if the rabbi is available, we'll go with you. Thank you. I know you're very kind and very generous. You understand? But I eat simple. Healthy, but simple. And if I eat in a different way that I usually eat, my body feels it right away. You also do? The same thing happens to you? Okay? I feel different. I feel different. So I'm not telling you not to eat bread. I'm only telling you what the Gemara tells you, but I'm only upgrading the message that even if you don't eat bread, and this is what I do, be'emet. If I know that I have a certain type of day ahead of me, what does that mean, a certain type of day? I'm not a prophet. Baruch Hashem, I'm busy every day. But I do know in advance that some days I need to deal with certain hiccups. Not mine, Baruch Hashem. Okay? Or certain headaches, or certain challenging situation, or a situation that truly require my mind, my body, and soul to be ready and suitable. As the Gemara said, sometimes a person, mid-morning, you feel cranky in the office. The Gemara is telling you, did you have breakfast that day? And that's the beauty of our Torah. You may think, since when the Talmud or the rabbis care if I have breakfast or not? What do you care if I have breakfast? Because having breakfast, being content, being calm, being easygoing, is also part of Yirat Shamayim. Because it affects our behavior. And guess what? Yirat Shamayim is about behavior. Yirat Shamayim is not only about paying 3 times a day and giving charity. Of course that helps. But Yirat Shamayim means, how do I behave? I talk nice or I'm cranky? Haz v'shalom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So what can make the difference?
And what?
If you're going to talk nice or not?
Oh, if sometimes a person can be cranky, the Gemara says, because the stomach is empty.
בגלל שאנחנו אוכלים על השולחן. של חן.
Beautiful. He brought a beautiful hint. I protect your identity because you're a very valuable asset. But it says as follows. It says as follows. Shulchan, in the table, means what? Shulchan, table. But he used a beautiful, cute way that if you look at the word Shulchan, you can split the word Shel Hen. The broth of graciousness.
And it's charm.
Charm. The charm. When you eat, you have a better color. You feel better. Hazako Baruch. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's talk about one more topic, with your permission. Atzvut. Sadness. We all know that happiness, simcha, it's essential in the life of a person. Okay? Many pesukim that we know. Number one, Tehillim, daily prayers. Abdu et Hashem besimcha. Serve God with joy. David HaMelech says, Samahti. I'm happy. Shlomo HaMelech says, Beshibachti ani et simcha. I praise happiness. The Ben Ish Chai says, and I think that he quotes Sefer Haredim, that it says, Mitzvot, to do mitzvot, require certain kind of requirements. In other words, when you do a mitzvah, let's say you apply for a credit card, right? They ask you your life, your income, social security, and at the end they tell you, please sign the bottom. What happens if you submit an application without signature?
It's not valid.
It bounces back. What happens if you apply without providing your social security? It's denied, so to speak. Mitzvot also, Sefer Haredim says, they have a checklist. Requirements they need to be met in order for a mitzvah to be considered a good mitzvah. You know what Sefer Haredim says? Simcha. Happiness. Doing the mitzvah with joy. And the Ben Ish Chai adds that when a person does a mitzvah with joy, and I would like to say, if you allow me to, that anything you do with joy, anything you do with a good intention, with a proper desire, you put your heart into it, will be crowned with success. 99% of the time. Why? Because you're doing it, putting all your effort. Obviously, we all need Hashem's blessing. But I'm not worried, because Hashem holds my hand. As David HaMelech writes in the book of Tehillim, Hashem silecha al yad yaminecha. God is as close to me like my shadow is mine. That's the meaning of that verse. Hashem silecha. God is your shadow. So the Ben Ish Chai says that besides that, the performance of the mitzvah, the effort invested of the mitzvah, and at times the cost of the mitzvah, there is a bonus reward known simcha. How much is the reward of simcha? The Ben Ish Chai asks. Double than the mitzvah without simcha.
Tzedakah 7 against 11, right?
6 against 11, but we'll save that topic for some other time. Thank you for reminding me of that. Very helpful. But again, the Ben Ish Chai says double. Rabbeinu Ha'ari. You heard of him? Ha'arizal. Rabbi Chaim Vital writes that the foundation of Rabbeinu Ha'ari to become who he became, that unfortunately he left the world at a very young age, Rabbeinu Ha'ari. I think he was 38, 39 years old, 36. Okay? He says the main source of godliness from Rabbeinu Ha'ari was simcha. Happiness. Now, all this is good about happiness, and we understand that. And I gave you this introduction because the Musar of today talks about atzvut, the opposite of happiness. Long face, sadness, depression, Tisha B'Av mode. I'm not telling you that Purim is every day of the year, but you know, to be happy, to be thankful, to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Musar of today says, ha'atzvut, sadness, prevents the person of serving Hashem properly. The person is down. He prays because it's a robotic thing. He's not putting his mitzvah, his mind, his effort, his kavanah is not there. And usually a person that has this kind of condition, and I'm sure that today, unfortunately, At least society says this, not me, but society tells us about mental health. The mental health topic today. And you have all kinds of conditions. Some people have depression, some people have anxiety, some people have panic attacks, God forbid, some people have bipolar, Haz v'shalom, different kinds of conditions that today is all under the label of mental health. So therefore, when it comes to the topic of shidduchim, for example, at least the new generation, one of the questions that we ask is about mental health, to make sure that you're marrying a normal person and you don't discover after the fact. Haz v'shalom. We had cases here. And I'm sure they're all over the world, that things get discovered after the fact. And then you don't know what to do. You get divorced. Do you go to therapy? Is there an addiction involved? Can it be fixed? Can it be helped? And I'm asking everyone listening to this, do not derive any practical advice on this topic, on what I'm saying quickly in a class, because needs to be handled in a professional level. Of course, the rabbis can guide and suggest, etc., but this definitely needs to be handled by the professionals. And you need to pray that you meet the right professional that is going to help you succeed and is going to help you to overcome this problem. That is the reason why nationwide today there are so many rehab centers with ashgaha, with supervision, especially in Florida. I know of 3 or 4 rehab center for different kinds of conditions, different kinds of addictions, God forbid. No one is immune. We cannot say it only happens in a certain city. Ribono shel olam. It's not so. Today, people live under a lot of pressure. People have a lot of expectations of themselves. We see how the world is functioning. So therefore, the Musar of today says, it is imperative that a person fills their mind with positive thoughts, with positive thinking, good thinking, positive mindset, because it says that sadness or depression is a weapon, is a sleeper cell in the neshama of the person. You know what that terminology means? Sleeper cell? For the non-American crowd, this means when Haz v'shalom, there is a terrorist in a certain city that he looks like a normal fellow, but suddenly, unexpectedly, he's being woken up to activate the services of his government against another nation. God forbid, is not my intention of scaring anyone, but this is what the Musar of today says. This is the sleeper cell in the neshama of the person. Starts with lack of self-esteem, starts with negativity, continues with depression, and when that takes place, God has v'shalom, it could destroy the person. How many times you hear in the news PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, what is that? That refers usually to a person, to a soldier, could be a man, could be a woman, could be even a child that went through a stressful situation and has v'shalom, now you need to deal with it. Or PPD, postpartum depression. Lo aleno velo alechem. And I'm sorry if I mix different scenarios with different names and different labels of conditions, but the point of this Musar of today is telling us, don't worry only about your body, but worry about your mind as well. That's why today, in our generation, positive reinforcement is imperative. Positive reinforcement to children, to the wife, to the employees. In the olden days, they used to call us hamor, and we say amen.
Amen.
We used to give the shahada to our dad, heke. Today, forbidden. Asur. You got an F in math? No worry, Rahi. Next time I'm sure you're going to do better. You build them up. You build. Today, you need to boost the mind and the spirit of the person. Because today is very easy, Haz v'shalom, to fall down. You don't need much to fall down. Especially with social pressure, peer pressure, financial pressure. It's very easy for a person to cave, God forbid. That's why there was a great rabbi. There was a great rabbi that his name was the Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotsk. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
I'm sure your rabbi quotes him.
Yes.
The Kotsker Rebbe, alav shalom. He was a very great sage. I think he was one of the founding great rabbis of the Gur dynasty. Gur are the ones that uses the spodik, the tall fur hat, not the shtreimel. The shtreimel is short, the spodik is tall. That costs a third than the shtreimel, by the way. They are the ones who wear the peot underneath the kippah. They are the ones that put the socks, the pants into the socks. They are called the Gur Hasidim. Okay? So one of the early rabbis of this mega dynasty was called the Admur of the Rebbe of Kotsk. And he says as follows. I'm gonna say it in English straight. And it says, being happy is a mitzvah from the Torah. And there are pesukim in the Torah that says, Besamachta bechol hatov. Be happy with all the goodness that Hashem gives you. Besamachta bechaggecha. Be happy in your holiday. Besimach et ishto. Make your wife happy. It's a pasuk in the Torah. That you do as a husband. And then somebody asked me a long time ago, Rabbi, you just say the pasuk, Besamachta bechol hatov asher natan lecha Hashem elokecha. You should be happy with all the goodness that God gave you. And he says, what if God gave me something not good? It says the Torah is telling you that if God gave it to you, it's good.
It's good.
If God gave it to you, it's good. With emunah, that's easy to understand. Everything happens for a good reason. Everything happens because Hashem wants. And everything that Hashem does is good. So then why you worry? So the great Rabbi of Kotsk says as follows. To be happy is a mitzvah from the Torah. To be sad, there is not a prohibition from the Torah. But being sad achieves worse than the worst sin of the Torah. Do you understand? I repeat it. Being happy is a mitzvah from the Torah. Okay, mitzvah of being happy. Being sad is not an avon from the Torah. But the spiritual downfall that sadness can bring upon the person, the worst sin cannot achieve. What is he trying to say? In plain English, sadness doesn't affect one mitzvah. It affects the entire person. From A to Z. How you function as a person, as a human being, as a wife, as a husband, etc. Continues the Musar of today. And it says, Goremet lesiluk ruach hakodesh. The Gemara writes in Masechet Shabbat, a formula how to attract God to your life. You want to bring God with you. What are you supposed to do? Listen to this Gemara. En השכינה שורה לא מתוך עצבות אלא מתוך שמחה. Simple. Godliness cannot dwell in the midst of sadness, but in happiness. And that's the reason why it says, when a person serves Hashem with happiness, what does he achieve? Listen to the benefits. כי השמחה מוסיפה חשק רב. Happiness adds excitement in the life of the person. באהבה לבוראו, and brings love to Hashem, to your family, to your friends. And once a person develops a warm relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, midabek bo itbarach, then him and God become a single unit. With clarity, with connection and bonding with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Very apropos, very suitable, very adequate, and I repeat the medical disclaimer. Obviously, you need to follow the professional advice, monitoring, etc. And Be'ezat Hashem, if somebody is affected by this, also the person must, the parents especially, and the husbands, and the wives as well, we need to understand that many times our children, so to speak, go through these challenges part due to the way that we raise them. I know that it's heavy what I'm saying. We need to be conscientious. And that's the reason why I said before, reinforcement, positive reinforcement, kind words, positive words. And even though it may go against our nature, he did something wrong, why should I say to him good? You have to know the psychology of today. We need to find words, as Shlomo HaMelech says, Divrei Chachamim benahat. First of all, you need to do it at the right time, in a proper way. We're not saying don't to be a parent, or don't say what you have to say, but find the right time and use the proper word. And don't add more seasoning. You don't need to. Sometimes we hammer it several times. Certain things, yes, but many things, say what you have to say. Hazaku Baruch, I love you, next time you do better, move on. You built your son.
Also teachers.
Of teachers, mandatory. Teachers and parents are on the same boat. My dear friends, I have a very busy day ahead of me. Have a great day, everybody. Amen. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ואמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפיכך. ירבה להם תורה מצוות שנאמר אדוני חפש.